What's up?
It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COWMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four, invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir, got devotion to all those who keep on showing up to witness, fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness, switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker, keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gonna teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing, more like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official, we gonna get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacket, baby, this is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave and feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. That is the official theme song of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. We are leveling up the show in 2025. Better graphics, better audio. Shout out to the talented, well, I'll actually allow the Simply Cyber community to speculate who the author and singer and songwriter is of that original piece. Super exciting. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. This is episode 787. Clear the runway. We're ready for takeoff with the Boeing 787. Over the next hour, me, you, Marcus Kyler, Tree Hugger, Medine G. We saw C. Tomlinson, who was a first-timer yesterday, Sherry K., Stephen Michael from the great country of Canada, the whole mod team, DJ BSEC behind the glass. Guys, we're all shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders? Also, if you're a lone operator, I saw someone from Phoenix, I think, who was a lone operator. Obviously, Robert Cooper's in there. If you're a lone operator, hashtag Team Solo, we are here for you. Kind of an extended workforce, bounce ideas. Think of it as like a virtual colleagues. We're here for you. In addition to that, if you're looking to break into the industry, you're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? This right here is the answer, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. You're going to be asked, how do you stay current? That's the answer. On top of that, you're going to be able to take the knowledge that we drop on your brain here in the show and parlay it into interviews where you're just blowing minds and knocking socks off. You're going to ask, you're going to want to start bringing a 6-pack of tube socks to job interviews and handing them out and being like, you'll thank me later when I blow your socks off. You'll have these as a backup. Oh, by the way, business continuity planning, GRC Mafia, thank you. I'll take my signed offer letter right now. Thank you very much. Now, before we get into the show, you need to know that I am not preparing or researching for these shows. Yes, we put a lot of work into the production. Yes, DJ B-Sex behind the glass to keep me on the rails, kind of like a toddler who's attached to like one of those harnesses that almost looks borderline medieval. So I'm allowed to run free, but B-Sex got me, basically inside the bumper bowling guardrails here. But it's good. It's all about good times. So I don't prep or research because honestly, when you show up to work on Monday, Tuesday morning or whatever, did you really do an hour debrief before you went in? No. Like that's what the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is. So we're all doing it together in the show. Now, before we get into it, let me holler at the team sponsors. I guess they are kind of like team sponsors who allow me to bring this hotness to you every single day. and do things like make this cool graphic, make cool theme songs, do fun stuff, starting with my good friend, Chief Forensics Officer at Barricade Cyber, Eric Taylor. He was also doing jaw jacking yesterday. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Listen, y'all, cyber attacks, not only do they suck, they can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But guess what, y'all? Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Go ahead, check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. They've got tons and tons of real-world experience helping real clients deal with real compromises, ransomware, business email compromise, everything in between. Barricadecyber.com. They can certainly help you out. As Stefan Waldvogo ribbed me in mod chat yesterday, if you're looking for someone who's worked it or whatever, he said something, he was like digging on me about being GRC, call Barricade Cyber. Incident response, digital forensics, that's where it's at. Also want to say shout out and love to Delete Me. I got to tell you guys, I'm going to roll a Delete Me ad. Carrie's going to keep time on how long it actually runs, but I'm going to tell you, I was talking to my aunt and uncle just this past weekend because I flew into Massachusetts for a 75th birthday party, and they were asking about their privacy. And I told them, dude, Delete Me. Like, I will get you signed up for it. I'm going to get it for them as just a gift because it's reasonably affordable. But I've used it for probably 6 months now. I know many people in chat use it. It's a good service. It's not bulletproof, obviously, but it's good. Let's hear from Delete Me. When I get back from that, I'm going to tell you exactly how this show is going to solve all your CPE problems, all your CEU problems. 30 seconds. Delete Me. Be right back. As a person that exists publicly, especially since I share my opinions and hot takes daily, I'm hyper aware of my safety and security, and it's even easier to find personal information about people online these days. All the data is just hanging out there on the internet, and it can have real life consequences. But I recently found a solution, and this service is called Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web, and in the process helps prevent ID theft, doxing, phishing scams, stuff like that. And when you sign up, you tell Delete Me what data you want deleted, and they go off and do it. The cool thing is you get a personalized privacy report every month that shows what they deleted, where they found it, etc. It's pretty cool. For me personally, it's like outsourcing your online privacy, which honestly, I don't have time to do that myself or do it well. So for them to handle it is awesome. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at the special discount for Simply Cyber listeners. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com. Thank you, Delete Me, guys. Check it out. Did you know that this show is worth half a CPE? Now, one CPE equals 1 hour of education learning. I say half a CPE. That way, if any organization ever comes out of the woodwork and they're like, well, actually, you spent 10 minutes jaw-jacking and high-fiving and playing music and doing silly fun stuff. We don't do fun here. Well, guess what? Why don't we cut it in half and say 30 minutes of the show is educational, which I can absolutely argue till the cows come home. On top of that, this is essentially an instructor-led webinar. I got 20 years of experience and a bunch of degrees and certs. It's an instructor-led webinar if you're looking how to classify this on your certs. So anyway, say what's up in chat right here. B-Dubs, Stones fan, Marcus Kyler, Josh Mason. Just say what's up in chat. I recommend hashtag Team SC. It hits nicely. Marcus Kyler knows what I'm talking about. Kimberly can fix it. Keep the hands 10 and 2. We'll take a screenshot for you and file it away. But file a screenshot away. Count the number of screenshots at the end of the year. You can get up to a maximum of 120 CPEs. So 240 episodes in a typical calendar year. So, which by the way is like 3 times how many you need to get in a single year typically anyways. So don't sleep on that. Guys, I got news for you. Now that we've gotten through that, oh yeah, by the way, if today's your first episode, hashtag first timer in chat. We've got a special sound effect, special emote. Special sound effect, special emote if you're a first timer. I see a couple second timers, third timers in here. We're getting traction, people. We're growing the community. Yes, come, one of us. Let's do it. Now, if you're an earlier person, you may not know this, but guess what, guys? Every single Wednesday, we do something quite fun. First of all, you might think it's just blow a copyright strike out, which we do. Somewhere my son just cracked up. But no, guys, it is Wednesday. We got a new artwork. Kimberly Can Fix It is just dropping art, leveling up every single day of the stream. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Wednesdays is Worldwide Wednesday, where we're going to take a minute here and we're going to show you just how freaking amazing, diverse, international this community is. I'm super excited. I'm going to turn the music up a little bit, and all I ask is you let us know where you are. 2 minutes. We're going to see if we can go around the world. I've got this map right here. Let's go. Ready? Mods, please get ready. Hold on 1 second. I just realized I turned Spotify down. All right, guys. Let me know where you are. Let's go. Here we go. All right, we got Ben Willis in South Carolina. We're going to be, the U.S. is online. All right, Worldwide Wednesday. Here we go. Let us know. North Carolina, Fleetus, got you on there. Texas, Philly, way to go, Gloria. Kennesaw, Georgia, love it. Afghanistan, we're moving over to the Middle East. Fort Worth, Texas. Phoenix is hot, 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 hot. Suffolk, UK, we got across the pond on. Toronto, bringing Canada on. Steve McMichael, you're slow on that. South Africa, I saw Peru. We've got South America online. Love it. Minneapolis, Kenya, Philip Muga, bringing Africa strong. Love it. We got Queens, New York, Daniel Harper, Palm Springs, Florida. We got the New York in the house, Big Apple, Canada, Alberta representing. We got the UP up in Michigan. Israel, Gil, always in chat. Love it. Hold on. It's tough. There's Israel. Definitely Middle East. Circleville, Ohio, Boston. My cousin from Boston. We got New Brunswick. Florida. Kimberly Can Fix It, 45 degrees. Oh, my God. Call FEMA. New York City, Texas, Ghana. Yes, sir, Ghana. Africa always comes strong. Ghana on the West Coast. We got more Regine Franklin with the Flow Rider. New Orleans, Gary Sergiotis with some great beers. Tucson, Rhode Island, Terrence Tech, our local Rhode Island representative, reporting live. We are worldwide, baby. I love it. Yemen, Bangladesh. I'll need help where Yemen is. I think it's in the Middle East. Oh, there it is, bottom in the Middle East. Bangladesh right next to India. Australia, you guys saw Australia? Do we have confirmation on Australia? Argentina, holy Jesus, we are crushing it today, y'all. Argentina, Ethiopia, right above Kenya. They're brothers from another mother. We got the Philippines online. Yes, sir. Let's go, Morocco. Africa, you are going for a ride. Look at you. I love it. Portugal's in the house. Europe strikes back. Europe, you're not doing so strong. Where's Dragos with Romania? I see it. We got Philippines. We got them all here. All right, guys. Hold on. I forgot to set the 2 minutes, 2 seconds. 40 seconds. We got 40 seconds. Australia. Oi, oi, oi. Thank you, Richard Duff. I have to assume it's Perth. Botswana's in the house. Botswana's kind of mid, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Middle Southern Africa. There we go. Guys, we are crushing it like a bunch of bosses. We've already gone around the world. Now we're just flexing on people. Let's go. Wilhelmsen, first timer. Dude, that's how strong we are. We're just dropping welcome to the party, pals, mid Worldwide Wednesday. Holy crap. All right, guys. I got to tell you, that was phenomenal. That was just delicious. Guys, holy crap. Can I just really quickly, as we tally the votes, North America, South America, Africa, Europe, Middle East, Asia, Australia. A survey says, way to go, everybody. That is what I'm talking about. Nothing. Listen, when someone gets a job and I play the wrecking ball sounder, that is my favorite thing. But going around the world on Wednesdays is just so good. It's so good. Congratulations, Simply Cyber community. I know we had a slow start, but we're going to get into it. Wilhelmsen Jean-Pierre is a first-timer. I'm going to tag him in chat. Squad members, if you would, please help. Please help me in welcoming Wilhelmsen Jean-Pierre. Welcome to the party, pal. All right, guys. As fun as it is to play and have fun and high five, it is time to do work. Womp, womp, womp. Do me a favor, sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, January 8th, 2025. I'm Rich Straffolino. Cyber trust marks to roll out in 2025. Back in 2023, the White House launched an initiative to add cyber trust labels to retail packaging for connected devices. This was compared to the equivalent of Energy Star certification to indicate a baseline of cybersecurity best practices to consumers. The FCC unanimously approved the label back in March. Now, White House officials say the label will start appearing on consumer devices this year. Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber, Ann Neuberger, said an upcoming executive order will mandate that the federal government will only purchase devices with the Cyber Trust label as of 2027. The program will go off NIST cybersecurity criteria and inform users how long companies plan to provide software updates at the point of purchase. CISA, the FCC, and the Department of Justice will collaborate to oversee and enforce the program.
All right. So Fleetus says he hates this. I'd love for a hot take on this, Fleetus, in chat while you're talking about it. So this is big. This is big. Okay. I know this doesn't look big, but this is big. So back in the day, you could put like formaldehyde in your food if you wanted, right? If you were a vendor or whatever. And then the FDA came out with nutrition facts and ingredients lists that you have to post on the side of the package. And then you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this has cocaine and formaldehyde in it. I probably won't purchase this. I'll purchase this other one. Or this uses chlorofluorocarbons and that's not good. Whatever, right? So this right here is kind of equivalent to a nutrition fact on the side of IoT technology. Now, they compare it to the Energy Star sticker. If you've ever bought an appliance, if you've adulted, when you go buy like a washing machine or a hot water tank or whatever solution they have in North Dakota, Chris Whitlock, for heat, I'm sure it's like, do they have like rolling furnaces up there or something? Like it's so cold up there. They have to have a bigger solution, I'm sure. But whatever it is, they stick this yellow sticker on the side of it. It's a very deliberate yellow, like everybody knows what that yellow is, and it tells you like how much energy it takes and what it saves for you. Okay, now there's two things about this story. One, they said that there's going to be like 7 to 11 companies that are responsible for being the administrators that define what standards. They also said that they're going to be using NIST controls to help define it. Now, normally, I would like when you mention NIST, the pants come off, right? It's a party up in here. But like, let's be real. As much as I love NIST and NIST controls, like NIST 853 is just a dictionary of controls. Okay, the controls in 853 and the controls in ISO 27000 and the controls in CIS 18, like they're all kind of in the same bucket of yuck, right? Like you reach in and pull out multi-factor authentication, or you reach in and pull out patch your stuff. It's the same. So like, listen, I'm the first one who's going to get in the boat and start rowing in the, like, let's go on the NIST train, but like, let's not over think it here. Okay. But hey, you know what? I'm glad that they're using an industry standard and not just having some dork in a cube somewhere who's never actually done security deciding what controls make sense. I'm also super pumped that they're not allowing the vendors to decide what controls need to be put in place, right? Because whenever vendors are left to their own devices or self-attestation, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, GRC Mafia, then you don't get the best things, right? I will tell you, the Energy Star sticker, I don't know about you, but like, if I was to buy an appliance and it didn't have the Energy Star sticker on it, I don't think I'm going to be like, whoa. I'd like to see only the Energy Star certified appliances. Thank you very much. Like, no one's saying that. I will also say that at this point, almost all appliances have the Energy Star sticker, so it doesn't really matter. Just like all food has the nutrition facts and ingredients on the side. So it becomes an industry norm, which I'm super pumped about. Now, you might think, like, who gives a crap? Like, if I'm a business, I'm just going to keep pushing widgets out Like look at, China and the TP Link devices on Amazon that are 50% cheaper than other networking devices. Just go YOLO because Americans are hurting for money right now.
Straight cash, homie.
So if you can save 50% on a device, like you're going to get it. They said that the United States government will only be buying systems or technology that have this certification or labeling or whatever you want to call it by 2027. That right there is a motivator. Do you know why?
Straight cash, homie.
Again, straight cash, homie. Follow the money, dude. If you're selling a product and the government's like, you need to implement multi-factor and make default credentials change before you can push it into production. And you're like, hey, do you know what double middle fingers looks like? And the government's like, well, that's not very nice. And you're like, yeah, whatever. Move along. I'm still selling product. And then they're like, the entire U.S. federal government will not purchase any of your products unless you do this. And then you're like, well, can I see that checklist? Because I'd sure like to get in on it and get ahead of the curve, right? Money is a huge financial motivator, especially in a capitalist open market society, right? So this is going to get traction. I will also say, I know Fleet has said he doesn't like this. Obviously, there are some. I didn't see your argument, but Fleetus, but I do say more pay to pay again. Yes, a rising tide rises all ships, but unfortunately, smaller, innovative markets or companies might be financially strapped in order to take their innovative idea and then introduce these controls on it. But honestly, guys, Mirai botnet grew exponentially. It's still 10 years later, Mirai variants are still successful. So I think we need this. I didn't see Fleetus's argument, but I like this. Hold on. How do I move my arm? I'm pro this. Okay. I like it. I think it's a standard we need. And again, the only way you're going to get adoption is if there is some financial motivator behind it, period. Full stop. That's it. That's why we have compliance for HIPAA and stuff. That's why we have PCI. You can't use credit cards if you don't follow PCI. Technically, we all know that's not exactly true, but that's the idea behind it. And everybody gets PCI, right? So here we go.
UK to criminalize sexually explicit deepfakes. The UK already criminalized the publishing of intimate media meant to cause distress without consent, aka revenge porn, back in 2015. But that only accounted for actual images, not machine-generated ones. The British government announced it will make creating and sharing explicit deepfake media that represents a real likeness a crime, punishable with up to 2 years in prison. The government also said it will increase scrutiny on tech platforms hosting these images. The Revenge Porn Helpline found that digitally altered revenge porn images have increased by over 400% since 2017.
All right. So this is happening right now. Obviously with AI, you can basically take some footage. We saw Daisy Ridley. She was one of the early ones. Gal Gadot. There's the Taylor Swift. There's a lot of corpus data of individuals, so you can make essentially adult videos or adult films starring people who did not actually star in them. Now, when it's like Daisy Ridley or Gal Gadot, obviously people are like, oh, this was great. But imagine, if you will, it's like, your daughter or your wife, right? And some scumbag at work who is twisted in the head takes footage and then releases an adult video of your wife. Right? That's very invasive and very just filthy, right? So how do you curb that behavior? You can either you wouldn't reward not doing it, but you have to have some type of punishment or deterrent. This is the way the modern judicial criminal system works. The worse the offense, the bigger the punishment. Hopefully, the larger the curb of people doing it. Deepfakes is a thing, right? At this point, there's entire Instagram accounts. There's OnlyFans accounts. Again, I know we have a younger audience, but If you know, you know, right? There's OnlyFans accounts that are just like virtual talents, if you will. You know what I mean? It's like insane where we are right now. But dude, I'm totally loving this. Right now, I've heard that on the platforms that host this type of material, I think that they self-police, that they don't have deep fake kind of content. But for Britain to make it a crime, let's go. I hope this becomes an international norm as far as, you know, whatever. Again, yeah. So I would consider this like cyber adjacent a story. I'm more concerned with deepfakes as a technology in business email compromise and social engineering, phishing type stuff. We saw Perry Carpenter at Social Engineering Village at DEF CON this last year. You know, basically be very successful at social engineering help desk people. Britain, way to go. I hope you set a standard. Like, let's make this a crime. Now, I will say one other thing is it is software. It is deepfake. Not to say it's impossible to get attribution, but, you know, the devil's going to be in the details. So, like, let's say, again, let's just say, I'll use fake, you know, just generic names. Let's say Tom makes a deepfake video of somebody, right? Of Pam, right? Tom makes a video of Pam and posts it. And then Carl reposts it, right? Like, are they both guilty? Is it the same crime? How do you, can Tom be like, oh, it wasn't me? Like, I've been deep fake too. Like, you know, I don't know. We'll see. I think this is a lot of splash. You could see that they're doing this directly in correlation to individuals who are being victimized. And the final thing I'll say about this, because I actually had someone reach out to me yesterday personally, and this is a little bit of a off topic, but it's important to note, okay? I had someone reach out to me yesterday, and they had like, hey, listen, I don't know if you do this. I saw you online, or can you help me? My name is whatever. My daughter is being harassed. She's been harassed for a few years. It's escalating. The individual harassing her, we don't know who it is, but they've doctored, basically deep faked her. They're releasing it online. They're, you know, besmirching her, and they're threatening her, and they're threatening us. We've gone to the FBI. The FBI says it's too small a case to deal with. We've gone to local law enforcement. Local law enforcement says they don't have the resources to address it. So basically, this person, this normal person, it could be like your neighbor, coworker, their family's being like terrorized, frankly, and they don't have a way to, they don't have an option to do anything about it. And it's, I could sense the frustration. I could read the frustration. You know, it sucks, right? So these crimes are not just for like A-list celebrities and stuff. This can affect real people, and unfortunately, there isn't like good mechanisms in place to help. So hopefully, this can help those type of individuals. All right, let's keep going.
CISA says government hack limited to Treasury. Last week, the U.S. Treasury Department informed lawmakers that state-sponsored Chinese threat actors breached its systems in a major cybersecurity incident through its remote support provider, Beyond Trust. After an investigation, CISA announced it found no signs of the breach impacting any other federal agencies. CISA said it will continue to monitor the response to the attack and coordinate with relevant federal authorities as needed. Investigators are still looking into the full scope of the Treasury attack, but said there was no evidence the threat actors maintained access after the Treasury terminated its Beyond Trust instance.
Yeah, terminated. Straight up wrecked you. Get out of here. All right, so I got to tell you, hey, good morning, Zach Hill, IT Career Questions, the man. Listen, CISA is America's SecOps team. Like, don't get confused with, oh, hold on. What do we got here? Josh Mason sharing an update. Signed my offer for a new gig yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Mason. I came in like a nice job, Josh Mason. We celebrate you. Squad members, there is a Wrecking Ball emote now, which is hilarious because it's my head on Betty White's body on whatever her face is, Miley Cyrus's body. All right, so CISA is America's SecOps team. So if you didn't know, now you know, okay? They are the defenders, they're the security operations center essentially for the United States. They do threat intelligence, they provide known exploited vulnerabilities, they respond to incidents and stuff like that. US Treasury got hacked by one China, okay? So they exploited a remote access solution or a remote management RMM, you might hear it referred to, called Beyond Trust. They got in. It was pretty limited. They did get access to workstations and classified information, allegedly, or it's being reported. So that's not good. But essentially, they caught it quickly, and they were able to quarantine and then eradicate. So from an incident perspective, it was pretty small potatoes, right? Like, it's not uncommon for threat actors to use these RMM tools and get in, right? They're out there. Sometimes you have crappy credentials. Sometimes they're internet facing. Sometimes like the Kaseya, was it Kaseya attack? You can go whole ham and go hard on it. So there's a bunch of different options or whatever. But CISA did a true, incident response and says it was limited. The lesson learned here. Okay, so CISA isn't a SOC. They're not watching anyone's live feeds. I agree, but at the federal level, they are kind of like security operations. They're like, I guess maybe they're like the CTI. I don't know. Okay. I think Jen Easterly's emote's going to get swapped with GRC Mafia. We'll do it on January 6th. Wait, that was 2 days ago. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. This is actually more appropriate.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
I've been very busy. I'm always busy, which is a blessing and a curse. But like the Jen Easterly emote will be replaced with GRC Mafia emote soon. I just got to find time. Okay. The lesson learned here for everybody, and you could bust this out in a job interview if you want, like a boss, or you can implement it at work if you're already working in industry on the blue side. This is classic incident response, right? As part of the, I guess response or recovery phase, I'd have to look at NIST CSF to confirm. But basically, you want to do a lessons learned. When you're doing the incident response and you're evaluating the size of the attack, the impact, lateral movement, you're quarantining compromised workstations, you're getting your arms around the problem, right? When you do that, you want to be able to say, okay, we've done our due diligence. We've looked at all the things. We can confirm, A, this is what happened, and B, this is the scope of what happened. So when CISA says government hack limited to U.S. Treasury, and I know some people think that they're just a public ISAC, but I mean, if they're saying that it was limited to U.S. Treasury, it sounds like they did some incident response. Just saying. You want to be able to do that, right? So for anyone who deals with incidents in the regular, or if you're going to apply for a SOC analyst or incident responder job, this kind of post-mortem debrief it's two parts. One, you want to do the work to confirm that you've got your arms around the scope. And then two, you're going to debrief leadership, lessons learned. How did they get in? How can we stop them, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what's up.
Philippines targeted by Chinese threat actors. Bloomberg sources say Chinese state-sponsored actors orchestrated a year-long campaign to penetrate systems of the Philippines executive branch, stealing sensitive data. However, Department of Information and Communications Technology Secretary Evan Yui said the attacks did not compromise current data, but that threat actors did obtain old data from many years ago. Yui said his department deals with thousands of breach attempts against the government daily and challenges the threat actors to publish details if they obtained relevant data.
All right, hold on. China hackers steal Palace Philippine military data. We do have the Philippines in chat right now. What the heck kind of website is this? This is MSN.com, and it's like set up like one of these chintzy blog sites that like there's no substance. It's just like you click through a bunch of things and get spammed with a bunch of ads. Nice job, MSN.com. Was MSN.com purchased by, what are we doing here? Continue reading. Okay.
You are so dumb.
All right.
You are really dumb. For real.
All right. like I said, I don't prep or research for these shows, and I don't go to MSN.com, so I'm not super familiar with their website, but that was an absolute donkey move. Honestly, there's no cuts, there's no edits. This isn't produced. This is live, and oops. Okay, so check it out. The thriller from Manila is coming in hot, and the Department of Information and Communications said that China had infiltrated their executive department and stolen sensitive information. I don't know. I know we have Philippine representation in chat right now. So Philippines folks, if you can, let me know why you think this is happening. So here's the deal. China's attacking all sorts of governments, right? Like United States specifically, they got into the telecom, they got into the Department of Treasury. They are going, buck wild, like it's a 90s, after midnight infomercial. And apparently they're getting into the Philippines government and getting, basically compromising and doing espionage things. I don't know how the Philippines relate to NATO and kind of the adversaries of China, right? So China kind of aligns with BRICS. Like, so if you think of early 90s wrestling tag teams, right? There's NATO and they're a tag team, and then there's BRICS and they're a tag team, right? So, I would have to think that the Philippines are somehow not related to China, or they're doing something with like Taiwan or something like that. Let me know in chat if you got any thoughts. Triple D, good morning, Manila. I love it. Year-long campaign. Okay, so really this is a cyber story, but like really, there's nothing here. The damage has already been done. So what to know? China is actively attacking federal governments across the world and committing espionage. They were in Salt Typhoon. They were in for a while. Volt Typhoon, they've been in for a while. Salt Typhoon, Telecom, Volt Typhoon, industrial control systems in the energy sector. Year-long campaign into the Philippines federal government. Okay. All right, here we go. Yes, and when I clicked continue reading, you may have heard Curb Your Enthusiasm. All right, hey, before we get into the mid-roll, let's just get a quick word from ThreatLocker, our friends, and then we're going to pinwheel into the mid-roll. We've already done Worldwide Wednesday, friends, which means the mid-roll will be quick, but Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off with a hey, 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 and then end with a la, la, la. We'll fast track through the song. 30 seconds, be right back. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Hero support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Thank you, ThreatLocker.
And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor, Nudge Security.
Now, this is CISO Series 1, so we got to listen to this.
Targeting Okta, Microsoft 365, and Google Workspace are on the rise. Do you have the visibility you need into identity security risks? Nudge Security provides advanced security posture management for these critical platforms, surfacing risks like weak or missing MFA, inactive admin accounts, risky integrations, and more. And you can automate remediation tasks and ongoing identity governance. Start a free 14-day trial today at nudgesecurity.com/identity.
All right, let's go.
NUDGESECURITY.com/identity.
Yeah, we do. Unfortunately, we have to play it. Hey, hey. Yes, sir. If you feel like dancing, it's okay. Do it. Fleetus with 10 gifted subs. Yes, sir. Fleetus with 10 gifted subs. If you're one of the 10 lucky folks who just picked that up, holler at you. Thank you, Fleetus, for always supporting the channel. and also for giving 10 people the opportunity to be all up in the Simply Cyber squad. Squad members, if you're newly minted and you didn't know, there's an emote tray on YouTube you can get access to and do all the funny emotes and stuff like that. Guys, shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade, Delete Me, Antisyphon, Threat Locker, guys. They're bringing the heat, enabling me to bring the show to you and continue to level up the production, the quality, the equipment. We're going to take the show on the road a little bit in 2025. Thank you, guys, and I'm going to be real for a second with you. I know listening to the ads can suck, right? I get it. But it's a necessary evil to be able to do the show and continue to build it. So thank you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for helping each other. Thank you for choosing kindness. And thank you for all you do in chat, sharing your thoughts and helping each other. Fleet is sharing his thoughts on that one story. So many people. Jess Bishop asking about the bushwhackers. It's all about good times. All right. So let's speed run this. Get over here. Get ready, Alpha Sierra, for the la 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 la's. All right. Lean into it, everybody. If you want to close your eyes, that's okay too. So good. It musically captures the vibe of what we're doing up in here. I love it. All right, let's keep going and finish strong, y'all. We got Jawjacking at 9 a.m.
2,000 attacks launched against critical infrastructure. Temple University's Department of Criminal Justice maintains the Critical Infrastructure Ransomware Attacks Database, or KIRA. Operating since 2013, the database now holds details on over 2,000 different attacks, with 45% of those added since February 2022. In the last 2 years, government facilities, healthcare, public health, and education facilities were the most commonly targeted. While attacks on water infrastructure get a lot of attention, they were among the least targeted. The database also shows ransom amounts increasing, with attacks resulting in a $5 million or more ransom, up 42% over the last 2 years. The entire dataset is available upon request from KIRA.
Cool. I might request this myself just to do a little research and analysis. I definitely appreciate this. This is one of those. Now, listen, I literally have a PhD. So, I appreciate academia, but I usually, if you're a regular on the show, I dunk on academic research because it's usually not totally applicable to real life. This is coming out of Temple University, and this is very, very functional and very, very useful. They've been monitoring and keeping tally of critical infrastructure specific ransomware attacks. Now, remember, critical infrastructure, I always get it wrong. I think it's 18 unique sectors within the United States that have been identified as critical for the function of our modern society. A lot of people attribute critical infrastructure to like water and energy, financials, but there's more than that. There's like dams, there's healthcare, there's what else? There's chemical, right? So I just want to be real here, okay? So you can see transportation, like bridges, highways, tunnels, water, information networks, manufacturing and distribution, nuclear, financial, comms. I think agriculture is one. Yeah, there it is. Agriculture and food, the defense industrial base. So it's not just limited. Thank you, Chris Whitlock. So it's not just here we go. Chris Whitlock always with the Chris Whitlock's a man after my heart as he drops an infographic down. Oh, it's so hot. Hold on.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Infographics are so hot. All right, so here you are. You can see them all. Energy, government, financial, emergency services, whatever, right? So the idea is that they are looking at critical infrastructure these sectors specifically, and remember, critical infrastructure doesn't mean public sector exclusively. There are public sector components to critical infrastructure, but a lot of critical infrastructure, especially in the United States, is private sector. Hospitals are private sector. Financial businesses are private sector. Energy is private. Communications, AT&T, Verizon, etc., is critical infrastructure, right? In private sector. So they're only looking at that. Now, the other thing that's interesting to note is how often are they attacked? They said 2,000 entries, and like 1,000 of them, they've been doing this for 10 years, and 1,000 came in the last 3 years. So a 50% increase in the last 3 years. I want to make something abundantly clear to everybody, okay? Because I am a big nerd, okay? And sometimes you have to understand the context of numbers and the context of reporting to appreciate it. Now, me and you and Fleetus, Jesse Johnson, Josh Mason in his new job, we can all take this report, okay? We can all take this report and we can all make a slide, a sales slide, a budget request slide, and we can say, hey, CFO, look at the spike. Just in the last 3 years, we've had 100% increase in attacks on ransomware. We need money. We need budget. The metrics are in. Okay, that works for us to get our money. Pay this man his money, right? As John Malkovich would say in Rounders. But what you and I will talk about over in the water cooler or at the bar after work is this information. Yes, 2,000 incidents. Yes, they've been tracking it for 10 years. But I bet you anything, the number of sources that they had and reporting coming in and their own internal workflows has improved and increased over time. So there is a temporal element to this information coming in. Basically, think about it like this, right? You have an aperture like this big at the beginning, and information's coming in through the aperture like that. Well, as you get better processes, more people find out about you, you get public-private sector relationships, you go to conferences and report on your stuff, the aperture gets bigger, the hose, the pipe is getting bigger, and more information, more people are reporting, and it's getting bigger. So, of course, there's a correlation between the number of incidents that are showing up in your corpus of data and your processes getting better to intake that. Now, I'm making an assumption because I didn't research this. I didn't talk to Temple University, but I have a strong suspicion that that is the case. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that there are 2,000 confirmed incidents in the last 10 years of ransomware attacks on critical infrastructure. And you should be mindful that a lot of incidents are not reported. When you look at the FBI's IC3 annual reporting, when you look at Verizon's data breach incident response or incident reporting for incidents, when you look at any of these, Temple University, there's tons that are not reported. So this is actually, 2,000 incidents with an asterisk on it. It is it's basically the lowest end estimate that you can make because there's definitely 2,000 confirmed. There won't be less than that, but I guarantee you there's a higher amount than that. So TLDR, if you work in critical infrastructure, healthcare, water, sewer for Jay Gold, you can request this for free. They just don't want to put it out on the internet because, they want to add a little bit of burden for threat actors to get this information and probably vendors so they don't weaponize or monetize it. I personally am going to reach out and ask for this information. I would like to see it and see what's going on. Maybe give a little love, a little light to them and see what's cracking. All right, let's go.
Defense Department ties Tencent to the Chinese military. The U.S. Defense Department formally added Tencent, the parent company of the massively popular Chinese messaging app WeChat, to a list of companies with ties to aiding and supplying the Chinese military, which could pose a security risk to the U.S. While this designation doesn't impose direct bans or sanctions by itself, it does add considerable risk to Western companies doing business with it. Any sanctions would have to come from the Treasury. The Defense Department also added the firm CATL to the list, the world's largest EV battery maker.
I mean, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to switch this when I go from flipping out to listening to the next story. So, Team SC, please grant me some grace. DJ Bsec's behind the glass, but he doesn't control the stream deck. All right, here's the deal. Tencent makes a super popular app, and it's being alleged that they're serving Beijing's military. Okay. I mean, the Chinese government, for what it's worth, I mean, it does have strong influence. It does have strong power. The Chinese government's actually implementing a lot of soft power techniques globally. Go look, Google Belt, what is it? Belt and Silk Road, or the Silk and Belt Road, or the Belt Road Initiative. Hold on, let me look at this thing really quickly. Belt and Road Initiative. Okay. You can look at this thing. I'm not making this up. This isn't fear mongering. Okay. The Belt and Road Initiative. This is soft power being implemented. Okay. So it wouldn't surprise me for these large companies that have a lot of, not a lot, but a portion, potentially a material amount of portion of their revenue coming from Chinese-based spaces, being, basically bending the knee to the U.S., to the Chinese federal government in order to aid operations, whether it's military, intelligence, whatever. If the United States is adding Tencent and CATL, the battery manufacturer, to these lists, then chances are they have evidence to support what they're doing. I feel like the U.S. government is pretty slow to react, but when they do, it's kind of definitive, right? They've got it in place. And I know you can come out of the woodwork with all sorts of conspiracy theories and cover-ups and stuff like that, and that's fine. But when you're making a decision like this, it does seem to be based in reality. If you're interested, I mean, obviously I talked about the Belt and Road Initiative and soft power. You can look at that. And during Jaw Jacking, which is a segment from 9 a.m. to 9:30, just coming up in 10 minutes here, we could talk about Belt and Road Initiative. I find it fascinating, frankly, just just like to step back and not think about the parties in play and just think about what the effort is and what the goals are of it. It's wild how interesting it is. But if you look at how, at least it's probably less happening now, but even up to 10 years ago, Hollywood and the entertainment industry in the United States, there's so much money to be made in China from Chinese citizens that the entertainment industry, like when I say bend the knee, they would bend both knees, get their knees all dirty. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, go look at John Cena apologizing in Cantonese. Go look at Top Gun Maverick and the patches and how they changed the flags on his jacket for the Chinese audiences. All sorts of things. Look at how Google has a separate search engine for China. There's the reason that they do this.
That Hansel's so hot right.
Hold on one second. It's not because it's so hot right now. Hold on.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
They do it because of money.
Straight cash, homie.
All right. So again, this really. So hey, just as a production note, in our current state of the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief, as you may have kind of realized, we use the CISO series podcast to seed the stories that I talk about. It's like a 5-minute podcast. We extrapolate it into an hour-long show. It's our own show, but we kind of ride on top of that. I do not choose the stories that they pick. So like this story is more mainstream media news, tech industry, and is very little, if any, cyber. Like I'd almost argue that this is not a cyber story, okay? So like it's very difficult for me to extract cyber risk reduction value for you from this story. But I just want you to know that's what's going on. Just a production note. You gotta patch it. Sorry, that was a misfire. That's like right below my Spotify button.
Washington sues T-Mobile over data breach. Back in 2021, T-Mobile disclosed that a brute force attack on its corporate network resulted in a data leak impacting 79 million people across the U.S. It took T-Mobile 6 months to discover the malicious activity when data began appearing on hacking forums. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson filed a lawsuit against the telco, claiming it misrepresented its cybersecurity capabilities. The lawsuit also criticized T-Mobile for not telling customers that specifically had Social Security numbers stolen and for sending brief and incomplete text message alerts about the breach. The lawsuit seeks a court order from T-Mobile to strengthen its cybersecurity practices and financial penalties under the Consumer Protection Act.
All right. So whatever. T-Mobile is getting sued. Okay. So they failed to secure sensitive personal information of over 2 million people's. So I mean, is Washington State going to sue AT&T next because 77 million people got personal information exploited in the AT&T hack last year? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that they don't have a case here to sue, but you'd be setting an interesting precedent. And if I was a Washington State citizen, frankly, if I was any state and I saw this lawsuit, I would absolutely be following it with bated breath. Can we get, hold on one second. This is me right now. If I am a state and I'm like, hold on, Washington suing a telecom company for what? Let's go. Like, yeah, let's go. I'm putting my kids through school. Hey, citizens, you want free healthcare for the state? AT&T is paying for it, right? So it's an interesting precedent, but like all these telecom companies are getting hacked. All of these, dude, people's personal information, it's a joke on the channel. Like, if you're a regular here, I regularly make the joke that when you get identity theft protection from a vendor who disclosed your data or breached your data, you can throw it on the tire fire. I have I'm not even activating them all, but I have the potential to have 7 concurrent running identity theft protections because my data is just out there. Just like many of you, your data is out there. So Washington State suing T-Mobile, get in line, bro. I don't think this will go very far. If anything, this might be one of those flexing where somebody was running for office or re-election in Washington State and ran on this campaign that they were going to do something about it. Attackers brute force their way into a corporate network. Obviously, that's not great. Not having multi-factor authentication in place. They were there for 6 months. So obviously, Wade Wells' mustache was not working. Detection engineering at T-Mobile at this point. T-Mobile found out that they were breached after they found their information on the dark web. That's a gross way to find it. Very violating. I do want to point out there are CTI platforms out there that actually scrub the dark web and then bring the intel back to you so you can find out if you've been compromised and stuff like that. I've used a few of them. They're pretty useful. Instead of you having to create a dark web sock puppet account and go, crawling around in the sewers of the internet, there's companies out there that'll do it. And this is the reason why, because you'll actually find out you've been breached because, unfortunately, this is how you find out. I do want to point out T-Mobile. This is 4 years ago that they got hit. I don't know if they hired a new CISO, but recently during the Salt Typhoon attack, T-Mobile came out and said, we have completely removed the threat actor from our environment, which at the time when they said that, I told you that was a pretty bold move, Cotton. You really want to be careful when you're making declarations that you've done something with in totality. So just be mindful of that. TLDR for practitioners. Obviously, this is a post-mortem. The attack happened 4 years ago. They've cleaned it up. They've moved on, but they're still dealing with legal battles and now being sued. So when you're doing tabletop exercises, if you have already gone through some of the obvious tabletop exercise activities of how do we restore from backups? What do we tell the media? Whatever. If you wanted to throw a spin on it, you could say, hey, it's 2 years later and we're being sued by, whatever, the DA or a private sector or class action lawsuit, whatever. You could throw that in there as a scenario to kind of spice things up and get the general counsel out of their phone. All right. Chris Whitlock does mention Flare needs a personal version. If you are interested, they are a sponsor. You'll see them next week. This is the CTI platform that goes into the dark web that I use. I recommend. If businesses ask me, this is the one I like. I think Flare's phenomenal. I've worked with them. You could see here, Black Hills InfoSec is here. They use it. Coastal Information Security Group, that's my consulting firm, is a fan and recommends it. I love Flare.io. In fact, they just got $30 million Series B funding for those reasons. All right, let's keep going.
Aviation agency investigating breach claims. In a post on Breach Forums 2, the account NATO Hub claimed it compromised 42,000 documents from the UN's International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, supposedly containing personal records on staff and others working with the agency. ICAO did not confirm it suffered a breach, but said it was actively investigating reports of a potential information security incident. The NATO Hub account doesn't have an extensive track record of leaks, but it has made unsubstantiated claims that it accessed personal data on thousands of UN delegates last month.
All right. Josh Mason, you're in chat, so maybe you can comment on this. Okay. So I got to tell you, threat actors they're clever. They're also annoying. So the threat actors are giving themselves names nowadays that are very confusing. And I think they're doing it on purpose for the lulz. But there's a hacker that leaked a bunch of data named USDOD. There's one named Intel Broker, which I think is much more cooler and very Hollywood-esque. This hacker is named NATO Hub, okay? Or the platform is NATO Hub. So, hold on. Wait, am I confusing this? NATO Hub is the NATO's intelligence sharing platform. Okay, never mind. Their name is not NATO Hub. I'm sorry. I thought their name was NATO Hub because it's just pissing me off because it's confusing. The USDOD one alone is frustrating. All right, so 42,000 records for the International Civil Aviation Organization have been leaked. Now, the reason I asked Josh Mason to comment on this is he is a pilot, and I don't really know what the International Civil Aviation Organization is. If it's just like who's flying where, and it's not related to government, so I don't know. Like, here's the thing. Here's the workflow, okay, guys? When I see a breach, ideally, you're doing this as an exercise before the breach, left of boom. But when you see a breach, the question immediately is not what's the likelihood, because the likelihood is 100%. It's happened. The question is, what is the impact? How bad is this? How do I prioritize how to respond first, okay? This one looks like NATO, it's NATO's thing, and NATO made a mistake. ICAO is kind of like the Federal Aviation Authority in the United States that kind of handles flights and flight tracking and everything for NATO-related countries, I suppose, which includes the United States. I have to assume maybe it's country-on-country travel. I don't know. The thing is, it's probably flight plans and who was on the flight, but like what kind of flights, right? So this is historical data. Maybe you could glean some type of like, every Monday for the last 2 years, this flight has gone from Hamburg to Brussels. So you could infer that next Monday it's going to make that same travel. So you could intercept it or be at the airport or whatever. So like there's some information here, but I don't know. I think maybe this is in the news more because it's NATO and NATO is so hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Also, 42,000 records. Like, dude, like any other data breach is going to say, hold my beer. Like 42,000 records, not great, but it's also not wicked big, right? I mean, we just saw a healthcare company, 600,000, AT&T, 77 million. Apparently, all this information is already public information anyway. So the leak's kind of like, nah. Is it really a leak? Nah. Is the fact that NATO Hub got, compromised or breached? an issue, yeah, that's a problem. They should definitely, it doesn't say in here that they've confirmed the breach, but obviously if the data is out there, like you and I know it's a breach and they're just doing their due diligence. Again, a major lesson here, if you are an organization, you never want to say the word breach until you are definitively sure and you've done your full investigation, which can take, in some instances, years. We've seen some, I think it was Georgia Tech, right? I think it was Georgia Tech. Hold on one second. Oh, yeah, look at this. United States actually filed suit against Georgia Tech. But you can see this is an old story, but in February of 2020, Georgia Tech had some issues, and then they came out, I want to say like in 2023, and said that they had a breach, right? So like, you can go years. It's not just like start the clock for 72 hours, okay? So anyways, according to this story really quickly, the final piece of it is that information security, this incident involved 42,000 recruitment application data records from 2016 to 2024. So there is personal information in it. You know, again, welcome to the party, pal. Like, and get your identity theft. Like, basically, when you walk in, when you walk into the party, drop your code over there, get your name tag over there, and get your identity theft protection over here. And then go ahead and enter into the party and mingle with other people. Like, that's the deal. Like, our personal information is wicked out there. That's it.
Green Bay Packers online store sacked by threat actors. The American football team notified customers that a threat actor injected a card skimming script into its official online store sometime between late September and early October 2024. The team learned of the skimmer on October 23rd from the Dutch e-commerce security company Sansec. It immediately disabled checkouts and payment systems while investigating the issue. The skimmer could only steal information of customers paying directly with payment cards, so customers using gift cards, PayPal, and Amazon Pay were not impacted. No word on how many customers the attack impacted, but the team will offer all victims 3 years of credit monitoring services.
There you go. There you go. Like, I don't research these stories, but the playbook is so, it might as well be written in stone. Get a breach. Here's your identity theft protection. There's probably companies, honestly, that offer wholesale bulk pricing for identity theft protection. It's the right move. It's the right way to save face and be complete for your victims. But Green Bay Packers, you bought a cheesehead 2 years ago. Guess what? Your credit card's gone. Dude, inserting JavaScript to do credit card stealing it's coming back in vogue. It was very popular in like 2015, 2016 POS attacks. Go look at the Target attack. But it's making a comeback. Credit card companies are pretty good at detecting fraud nowadays. The Green Bay Packers certainly aren't going to suffer any impact from this. They'll have to pay to have an investigation, get the systems cleaned. But remember, this is an attack essentially on confidentiality and integrity. When you buy a cheesehead or Jordan Love? Whoever the quarterbacks love something. When you buy a jersey, you're still going to be able to purchase it. It's still going to be delivered to you, and you're still going to be able to paint your face green and yellow on Sunday. This doesn't stop that. That's why it can persist for a long time. The threat actor just gets your credit card, and they're wholesaling them, right? And then they can sell them in bulks. They can commit fraud. They can use it as part of identity theft stuff. See you later, Jenny Housley. We're behind time. So let's boogie on out of here. I want to say thank you, everybody. All right. I will say, if you are, for this particular story, if you're using privacy.com to have virtual cards, ghost credit cards, to kind of proxy for your credit card, that's a great way for you individually to deal with this. If you take credit cards as any part of your business, and you're doing it in-house, make sure that you have some type of code search, or you're doing some auditing or looking for diffs in production. If you've outsourced your stuff, like my academy is outsourced to a platform, they're responsible for doing it. I could ask them if they're doing that. It's not going to do anything. So there's a little bit of inherent risk that you're going to take on. Guys, I want to remind everybody, today is Wednesday, January 8th, but tomorrow we got two things really cool coming up. One, Brandon Poole, who, if you caught you're doing vulnerability management wrong a couple weeks ago, he blew the top off, and he's going to be doing it again, except he's got his eyes on digital forensics and incident response. You're doing it wrong. Come hang out with us tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. for that. Also, this is something I haven't told anybody about because I forgot about it. Casually Joseph, you're going to want to sit down before I share this. Today at 3:30 p.m., I completely whiffed on marketing this. I'm so sorry. Today at 3:30 p.m., I am going to be interviewed live on the Cyber Yeti's YouTube channel. Now, the Cyber Yeti is Dr. Josh Stroshine. He and I graduated Dakota State PhDs together. The dude works for Mandiant or Google now or wherever. He is a big brain reverse engineer, malware analysis superstar. The guy is awesome. Plus his beard. This dude's beard is like Wade Wells' mustache. It's got its own zip code, okay? You're going to want to check it out. Come over. We'll do a raid. I'll post it on the Discord if you guys want to come. Please, I would love it. And I'm telling you, this isn't just like me doing an interview. Josh is awesome. I love Josh. So 3:30 p.m. interview. Bookmark it. I just dropped a link in chat. I will pin it. All right, guys. Also, final thing to share with you guys. Tomorrow, we're actually launching a new podcast on the channel. Tomorrow is episode 1 of the Cybersecurity Mentors podcast. John Hoyt, the CISO at Clemson, and Steve Higadira, I think I'm saying his name correctly, who is also a senior SOC manager at Clemson University. And I don't know, there's probably no affiliation with Clemson, so let me just rephrase that and say, John Hoyt, a CISO at a major U.S. educational institution, and a senior SOC manager at a similar large U.S. educational institution, are launching this podcast on Simply Cyber. And every week they're going to be helping people with mentoring at scale, interviews. It's really, really cool. We'll do it tomorrow at 9:30. Okay, now for real, I want to say thank you all of you for being here. I know some of you got a boogie. Have a great day, and let's get over to jaw jacking. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Until next time, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some jaw jacking. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's cracking, my friend? Welcome to Jaw Jacking. This is a 30-minute AMA show where I will answer all your questions. We're here to help. We're here to level up. We're here to demystify cybersecurity careers, industry, and build community, because there's a lot of amazing people in chat right now. Say hi. Introduce yourself if you're new here. We're very welcoming. Very, very welcoming. Welcome to the party, pal. I'm your host, Jerry Guy, coming hot off the heels from the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief with that nerd. Oh, what a stiff. Dr. Gerald Auger. All right, doctor, I've got a boo-boo. Can you fix it? Nope, because you're a book doctor, you nerd. All right, here we go. Going to be ripping through the questions as we go. Are you flagging these? No. Okay, hold on one second. Let me get to put a Q in front of your questions, because it'll be faster for me, because I'm restream. You stink. All right, hold on one second. I got to go through all of the daily cyber threat briefs questions here. Here we go. All right, here are the questions. Oh, I see pin chats. And BSEC, if there's PBCC ones, that's fine too. Trey Black's got one here. Wait, hold on. Okay. Here we go. Trey Black, planning on applying for PhD this fall for spring of 2026. DSU is my primary focus besides education. What do you recommend to stand out on an application? So education is super important. If you've written any, if you've done any like writing, journal posting, if you have a GitHub repo, those type of things, I will tell you on really any PhD application, but really I can speak to the DSU one. They're looking for two things. Well, they're looking for a couple things, but two things that are pretty important. Number one, they want to know that you have the capability to complete the program. They do not want to have you matriculate into the program and then bail out. That's not good for them. That's not good for you. All right. So they need to be able to see that you would, demonstrate conviction and commitment. Two, I would focus on more technical education, more technical accomplishments. It depends. DSU has 2 PhDs, right? When I went through, they only had one, but they have 2. They have an offensive one, which is very technical, which I know is going to surprise many of you, but that's the one I have. I do have 2 computer science degrees. I just love GRC. So I don't know. People dunk on me from time to time about my technical acumen, and it's just like, oh, you found my button, did you? You found my button. Second of all, there is a cyber defense PhD, which is much, much more aligned with GRC. So like privacy, governance, risk, those type of things. Still a little bit technical. If you have a computer science, at one point you had to have a master's in computer science to even get admitted into the PhD cyber operations. So that's what I would say. Trey Black, as much as I love saying it, my friend, I have a video for that. Check it out really quickly. Oh my God. How is this not showing up? Hold on 1 second. If you go to my channel, well, I'll just link it directly. Yeah, right here. I actually have a whole playlist for it, but this is the number one that you'll want to look at. Am I having production issues, team? All right, Trey Black, there's a link. Good luck, buddy. All right. BSEC, it looks like mods are dropping comments in mod chat too. Can you pin those so I can bring them on stream? Brent Book is saying, how is the PBCC cohort going? Any lessons learned from the first cohort that you've implemented? Yeah, I mean, number one, we did the eligibility verification on day one, Brent, so we could get the live streaming done. A lot of similarities, a lot of lessons learned. The PBCC cohort right now is smaller than the first cohort, so we're actually able to spend a little bit more time digging in to individual trailers and stuff like that. If you don't know what Brent's talking about, you can't get into it now because we're underway, obviously. But this is the PBCC course. It's a 4-day live cohort that I do. And I would also say, honestly, I'm not a big fan of marketing and sales and crap like that. So what I would say is, if you want a true answer, Brent, I would ask the students who are in there. And I don't feel like this is talking out of turn, revealing who those students are, but Rhonda Rummerfield's in there. B-Dubs is in there. Jay Gold's in there. Well, a little bit. James Quiggin at 35,000 feet. I'm trying to think of people who are actively in the chat right now that are in the student. Ask them and let them tell you, because me telling you is obviously biased. You want true student testimonials for sure. If my audio is skipping, I'm sorry. I can turn the music off, maybe. That'll help. Luke says, how am I going to get any work done with all these SC podcasts? That's the plan, Luke. Guys, the long-term vision for Simply Cyber Media Group is to have you guys be able to go to Simply Cyber at any point during the day and get current, relevant, quality media to help you with your cybersecurity journey. The goal for 2025 is to have 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every single day blocked. That's it. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. blocked with great content. I'm actually in conversations right now to bring you guys a regular industrial control systems security podcast with industrial control system senior practitioners as the hosts. And there's a couple other projects in the works, but stay tuned for that. We got a lot going on. I mean, obviously 2025, it's all about leveling up and blowing up, right? We've got the graphics blowing up. We've got the graphics on every facet blowing up. We got the theme song cooking. So stay with us, guys. I'm trying to make this great for you guys. Reggie says, what advice? Hey, by the way, I turned the music off. Let me know if... Oh, okay. So nobody noticed any skips. I like the music on the background. It makes me feel good. Reggie says, what advice would you give someone going from tech to in a corporate environment to starting a position next week in the federal space? Well, Reggie, it'll move slower in the federal space. You'll have more time to be comprehensive. I guess measure your expectations on response and movement. Things move slowly. You will not be able to necessarily move certain initiatives forward that you'd want because, you know, people are like, oh, that's not my job description, right? So it can be a little bit more frustrating. Make friends with people in positions of power, right? I know that sounds devious and insidious, but in reality, if you want to get things done and reduce risk and whatnot, you need to get allies, especially in the federal space. Yeezy, by the way, Yeezy was a first timer. Welcome back to the party, Yeezy. Yeezy's currently in fraud ops, but wants to make their way into cyber threat intelligence, CTI or DFIR. How should I prepare for interviews? Well, okay, so basically I always say leverage your existing experience and make it directly applicable. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right, hold on. I don't know what just happened there. So, hey, really quickly, wading through logs. Is Eric here too? No. So wading through logs is, I'm actually gonna ask the community for something here. Wading through logs is in chat. He's a CTI person, or he's a detection engineer, but he works with CTI a lot. He might be able to comment on this. So I'm going to answer, but Wade, if you have a chance, answer that. Also, on the previous question about moving from corporate to federal, I saw Eric Silberman in chat. So Eric, if you can, would you mind helping Reggie Stinson with that question as well? Kind of crowdsource some responses. What I would say is lean into your experience, Yeezy, right? So with fraud, you've probably seen workflows. You've probably seen recurring activities, recurring themes. You've probably seen techniques time and time again. So when you're talking digital forensics, think about IOCs. Think about, with fraud, you're probably getting evidence and doing chain of custody. Lean into that for digital forensics. With CTI, where do you get your intel on how to even begin an investigation on, we think this person's doing something, right? Lean into that. Also with CTI, there's a ton of great intel and information out there on cyber threat intelligence. There's an awesome blog post by Robert Lee on how to do intelligence analysis reporting, which is super cool. All of that, let me tie it all back to your question. How should I prepare for interviews? What I would do is I would think about what you've done in fraud ops and think about how that directly relates to supporting a role in CTI and digital forensics, and then be able to speak to that. Also, I think it's a best practice to find a current story that somebody who's interviewing you would know about and that's related to CTI or digital forensics, and think about how you can organically bring that into the conversation. I think it's phenomenal when you can bring current events into the story into the interview and relate it, because now you're talking as like a peer to a peer. When you go into an interview, I talked to somebody the other day about this. When you go into an interview, there is this natural dynamic that the interviewer is in power and the interviewee is subservient because they have the job and you want it. You want to change that relationship to being two peers talking, right? Almost like instead of you applying for a job, you are a consultant who owns a company and you're trying to see if you're a good fit for their company to work together. Treat it like you're dealing with peers, not like you're dealing with someone in power that you're trying to woo. That's a general interview tip, okay? Miguel says, just started working on a sim. First time working one daily. There's very little resources for me to study from. Any tips, exercises to practice my practical skills? Yeah, I mean, there's a couple options, right? You can go to malware traffic analysis, .net, I think it is. Right? Malware traffic analysis, obviously be really careful, and I wouldn't import malicious PCAPs into your corporate SIM. But you can do traffic analysis, and there's like questions and challenges and stuff like that. Like, where was the C2? What was the compromised host? Where was the malware stored? So, like, I think this is an awesome resource. GG also suggests try Hack the Box. Okay, I just did Hack the Box Academy Sim. There are fundamental courses right there. This one has a 5-star review or 4.66 star review. So definitely another great option. They are not they're not an affiliate. So I'm just telling you. There you go. There's two good options. Poner Joe says, care to make a formal announcement that Poner Joe is spearheading the monthly Meta CTF challenges? Yes, I'd be happy to do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, and mods and community, let me tell you officially. So, we have partnered with Meta CTF. Thank you, Poner Joe. We have partnered with Meta CTF. Okay, Meta CTF hosts a monthly live. No problem. A monthly live CTF, okay? And you can see here, we've partnered with them. So is TCM Academy, and so is Antisyphon. Oh, crap, I forgot to run the Antisyphon ad. Hold on, let's run the Antisyphon ad. I'm so sorry, Antisyphon. Give me a second. Antisyphon, 30 seconds. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education, regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing, as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other, all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what course. Okay, thank you, Antisyphon, and thank you, community. I know you guys all know them, but so listen. It started in December. We ran a CTF alongside Meta CTF. It was 4 hours. Going forward, every single month, there is going to be a CTF contest with Meta CTF. And you can compete in the global audience, but also within the Simply Cyber community. And Poner Joe has volunteered to be the liaison and spearhead the efforts around communication, coordination, and that. So Poner Joe, thank you, Poner Joe. And community, if you'd like to give a shout out to Poner Joe, he is your official Simply Cyber CTF go-to person. And the CTFs, you may see our whole, I think it's Arbert on Discord, black badge, role. You can win a black badge, right? And it's fun. It's an opportunity to practice skills, have a hangout with some friends. It's good times, guys. So thank you, Poner Joe, for spearheading that, and more to come. Really quickly, just so everybody knows, along with the improvements to the daily cyber threat brief with the graphics, the theme song, the quality of the production, OBS, and all that, okay, so this is why you stick around, right, for the show, the jaw jacking, because I always forget to tell things. Listen, you've already seen the what I'm doing with the daily cyber threat brief, right, and the media group, adding pods that matter, making the quality of those pods great. That's phase one, or dimension one. Dimension 2 is the academy. I'm adding a bunch of courses there. I'll tell you about that later. 3, and the one that you should care about most, is we are making strides to make more community engagement, more community events, a better experience. I talked to Chris Whitlock yesterday and Justin Gold, Casually Joseph. You're going to see some significant changes and improvements on the Discord server, much more events, much more engagement. The CTF is just one of those activities. We are trying, like, we have community, but in 2025, like 2023, 2024, we laid the foundation and we added some buildings and outcrop buildings and stuff like that. In 2025, we're back in the dump truck up. We're dropping raw material and we're building like concrete buildings. Okay. So we're going to be making some significant level ups in 2025. Like, honestly, you may have noticed the ads, right? The ads on the channel that help fund this. The choices that I'm making to build the community, they cost money. So I know you guys don't care about the business side of it, but like, I'm investing more than I typically invest into 2025 financially in order to build this thing and reach a new level for our community. So just be mindful of that. This CTF is just one of those things. And thank you, Poner Joe, for reminding me. This is exactly, Poner Joe, exactly why I asked you to help keep me on track. Roswell UK said theme song. Yeah, we have an official theme song. I haven't disclosed. Take it easy, Poner Joe. I haven't disclosed who the author is of that song yet. I'll leave it to your own. We'll make it a trivia thing, okay? But I will be playing the theme song periodically on the opener of the show. Augusta Delgado, is there a good resource somewhere that can provide a list of valid artifacts that can be collected when doing a risk assessment based on NIST 100-853? My Rosetta Stone document is pretty good. I've released that recently, like in the last year. No, there isn't an official resource for that I know of, Augusta Delgado, because honestly, different, like with NIST 100-853, there's a lot of organization-defined values. There's a lot of, they might do things differently, so not necessarily consistent. It's hard to make a prescriptive artifact list because different environments have different things going on. So not that I know of. AG Flex Show says, what resource can I use to find mid-career certificate programs at universities? Well, what I would say to that question is there is a really well-known graphic. So this is the Paul Jeremy Cybersecurity Certification Roadmap, last updated July 2024. And really quickly, so everybody's on the same page, the way you read this is the vertical slices or the colors are industry areas that you would work. So the far right, the red, that's offensive. The blue is defensive. The black is like GRC. The orange is engineering, okay? And so that's the verticals. And then the horizontal stacks, the bottom is more beginner, the middle is mid-tier, and the top is senior. So what I would say, AG Flex Show, is if you want, look in the middle of this graphic across whatever dimension you want to work in to find certifications, right? And then you could find universities that are teaching those things. You say certificate programs, so there's that. I don't know of any kind of academic university resource that outlines different mid-career certificates. It really depends on what you want to do. What I would say is, like, what do you want to get a certificate in? Do you want it to be practical and like defensive? Do you want to get an MBA so you can get into CISO role work? What do you want? But I will say, if you're in chat right now, if AG Flex Show explains what kind of mid-career cert he's looking for, and you know of a university that offers one, that's nice. Then please share that in chat. Okay. All right. I'm not sure what graphic you're talking about. If you're talking about the certification thing. All right, here we go. Luke J says, when's the Simply CyberCon? Yes, sir. We're still, the date hasn't been firmed up yet. Me and Josh are currently soliciting venues. Here's the deal, okay? For what we want to do for Simply CyberCon 2025, the quotes are coming back at, I'm not even making this up, $60,000, $100,000, $75,000. Like, the quotes are coming back quite expensive, okay, for what we're trying to do. And I can get sponsors, Josh can get sponsors, but I don't know if we can get $100,000 worth of sponsors. And we're trying to manage the cost of a ticket. I think tickets were $20 or something this year. And we made it so it could help fund the thing and also keep out spamming people who just signed up for the sake of signing up. But, you know, we're going to have to figure this out. So stay tuned, Luke. All right, hold on one second. Let me go to the questions really quickly. And I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom, so I may miss your question. So if I miss your question, drop it back in chat and put a Q up front. I'll go 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. I'll drop at 9:45. I do have teaching at 11 a.m. for the personal branding cyber career cohort. I also want to tell people tomorrow is Thursday, January 9th. I start teaching at the Citadel again tomorrow, and I have to be on campus. So tomorrow, I will do the show from 8, and I will try to end the show by like 8:50. It's like literally the first day of class, so I can't show up late. And then DJ BSEC will take over the show and finish it. And then PBC students, I will be late to class. All right. So Bustin Justin says, do the ads cut off a little bit? Yeah, that's a restream issue. And I just don't have time to fix it. What I need to do is open the ad, fade to black and extend the video an extra 2 seconds. I just don't have time. All right, continuing to look at questions. If you have a question, drop it up in chat. Tech Ricky asking if it's Joe Hudson. Tech Ricky. That's all I'm saying about that. So Josh Mason says, I wouldn't do an assessment on 853. I agree. 853 is just a dictionary of controls. You'd want to choose controls out of that based on what your risk appetite is, based on your security baseline, based on your information security program maturity level. There's a bunch of things. If you try to do all of 853, you're going to be miserable. Hunt Header says, are you transparent in terms of finances? To some degree. I mean, I hold quarterly meetings. I do owe a quarterly meeting. I don't get, I don't release my P&L report and stuff like that, but I do, for the conference, if that's what you're talking about, that's actually a nonprofit, and we, all of the transactions around the conference are public record, and you can go query them if that's what you're talking about. Yes, GRC people don't care about the business side. You should get on Discord more. There's a lot going on Discord. And like I said, Chris Whitlock, Joseph, and Justin are going to be hooking it up. The Payne says, can one of these contests be on a Wednesday or Thursday? If you're talking about the CTF, we don't control that. Meta CTF does, and I think it's on Saturday. Yes, here we go. Thank you. So if you're wondering about the finances of the conference, Simply CyberCon, I'll share this right now. Again, I intentionally, deliberately designed the conference to be nonprofit, okay? Simply Cyber, my business, is for profit, right? But this is the transactions. Right now, there's $8,000 in the account balance. I'm not like buying myself, I don't know, like a vacation or whatever. Like this is our community, our money for the community. Okay. I'll drop a link in chat if you're interested. Okay. So whoever asked if we're transparent about financials, there you go. All right. Going back, looking at chat. Fleetus helping out Yeezy. I appreciate that, Fleetus. All right, here we go. I'm going to go all the way back to the bottom and see if there's any questions. Threat Logic says, back in high school, what were your career ambitions? What made you choose GRC Thug Life? So early in high school, freshman, sophomore year, I thought I wanted to be a professional comedian. True story. And then I realized I didn't want that life. I did a couple stand-ups. It wasn't for me. Then I really got into computers, and I didn't know what my career ambition was, but I knew I wanted to work with computers. So I went to UMass Amherst and got a computer science degree. And really quickly, just so everybody knows, everybody's got their own story or whatever. But in a nutshell, my mom died when I was young. She went to college, but I was young, so I never really got to talk to her about it. My father did not go to college. My older brother did not go to college. My close cousins and relatives did not go to college. Or the ones who did, I wasn't really close with. So I didn't really have I didn't have someone to look at and be like, oh, like this is what college is. These are the options. I just knew I was supposed to go to college, right? And I liked computers, so I did that. So as I was going through college, UMass Amherst, the way they roll out their computer science curriculum, everything revolves around software. So like you take a databases course, but it's like how to build databases, make databases, and then use a database as a back end in a software solution. Then you do networking. You learn all about networking, and then it's like how networking relates to building software engineering course, right? Programming courses. So when I graduated UMass Amherst, I thought I was supposed to be a software engineer. I guess this is what I've been trained to do. So my career ambition was to do that. It's only when my software got audited for FISMA compliance and I failed miserably and I took it personal, and then I looked into it and I got super excited about GRC or cybersecurity in general, and then GRC, that I make it a career ambition. All right, Kyle says he didn't choose GRC. GRC chose him. I love it. How can one sponsor the SC Con? That's a good question, Luke. Josh, we should probably put together. The thing is, I wanted the venue and the date lined up so we could then make a prospectus for vet sponsors. Basically, we're going to steal B-Side San Diego's vendor sponsor package and have a list of options. And then we'll do that. So Luke, stay tuned. If you or your business are looking to sponsor, we will have a official, here's the deal kind of thing. I'd ask Josh Mason to do that as the director of the con, but he's just about to start a new job. So I think that's going to take a lot of focus. All right. Also, you can hit Josh up on LinkedIn or Discord, I guess, for the sponsor stuff. Yes, 100% stealing from our friends. Here's the thing. I'm very transparent. I asked Wade Wells and his mustache if we could lift B-sides, and he actually sent me the raw files, so it's good. All right. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. Pick my brain. Pick my brain. Sorry, I'm responding to DMs right now. All right. All right. Thank you. Yeah, the comedy thing, it fizzled out. I'm very extroverted, I guess. All right. Let's see. Does Wade Wells' mustache have a name? I don't know. Wade? At Wade? We'll have to let him know. How many CPs do we need for Sec Plus? I think 120. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'm so old and crusty that when I got my Sec Plus, they actually didn't have the recurring they didn't have the recurring requirements. Let me see. Security Plus CPE requirements. Let's see. Let me Google that. 50 every 3 years. All right. All right. So Wade Wells' mustache does not have a name. It is below Wade on the org chart, apparently. But, 2025 is looking like a good year for the mustache. What does a pen test report writing look like? How long are they? Great question, Nataraj Monk. Is Tyler Ramsby in chat? He would definitely be the right person to ask that question to. Josh Mason. Hold on one second. Josh Mason. Let's see if Josh Mason's got one. They can vary in size and length, honestly. It depends on the scope of the pen test. It depends on kind of what the CISO was asking for. Here's a reality for people that may or may not know it, because what you see in academia or classrooms is different than reality. When you do a pen test, yes, you should. Oh, perfect. When you do a pen test, yeah, you should get some results and stuff like that. But honestly, you're going to want to talk to the CISO afterwards and ask them what their priorities are for their agenda. And then you're going to rearrange your report to map that. Because at the end of the day, the CISO is the one paying you, and you want them to be happy and, basically bring you back next year. Here is a list of public penetration test reports published by several consulting firms. To your question, Nataraj Monk, this is what I would consider a home run, wham, bam, thank you resource. Pen test reports. Nice. Dude, this is a solid. I might even freaking make a social media post about this. This one's great, Josh. Thank you for sharing. All right, I'm going to quickly speed run any outstanding questions. Please don't drop any more questions in chat because I don't want to feel bad that I missed somebody. But I have to go. Yes. Final question, Dave Stewart. Would you think going for something like the GAC GSE cert is worth already cleared ISC top cert, looking to climb a bit higher? Hold on one second. Hold on. Is there a GSE? Hold on. I don't know what this GSE is. One second. Security expert cert. Wow. Okay. So what I would say with this question, David Stewart, is the following. If your employer is going to pay for it, absolutely. SANS certs, GX, they are worth it. But if they're super expensive. So if you can get someone else to pay for it, the answer is yes 100% of the time. If you're going to pay for it, the question I would ask is, what is the long-term reason to do it? Are you going to get a pay bump? Is there a job posting out there that is the next step in your career that is asking for this cert? like if there's no return on your investment, if you just pay $8,000 and get the cert and feel good about it, I mean, that's a choice you have to make. But like to me, when I invest any money into anything or time, which is even more valuable than my money, I ask, what's the why? Why would I want this? Why would I spend the time and money to get it? And there has to be a reason behind it. My PhD, for example, I got a PhD in cyber operations and did not get a pay bump at work. In fact, they gave me more work, which is kind of counterintuitive and sucked. But my employer paid for the PhD, which was just a bonus. But I personally wanted one as a career life goal, regardless if it helped me with work. So like my why was a personal drive. Now, obviously, I've been able to parlay it into other opportunities, but my point is you got to have a why, okay? All right, guys, that's going to do it for the stream. You guys are all amazing, first of all, as if you didn't know. Surprise, it's me, Dr. Gerald Auger. Guys, thank you so very much for being here. 274 of you hung out. 275 if you count Wade's mustache. Really had a great time. PBC students, I'll see you in an hour. Get ready. It's going to be good. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time for the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Again, would really, really, really love it if you could help support me. This is a personal ask. To come hang out at 3:30 Eastern time on the Cyber Yeti YouTube channel, where I'm going to be interviewed live for an hour. This is Dr. Josh Stroshine. If you're interested in malware analysis, reverse engineering, software exploitation, this guy, not me, but the guy whose channel this is, Dr. Josh Stroshine, is chef's kiss, Salt Bay, the best resource. This guy's so good at teaching that I TA'd his class just so I could be in the same room as him teaching. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. We'll see you tomorrow. But until next time, stay secure.